Is it not positive? Are they making an impact on people's lives? What is it that you want to emulate from them?
That's right.
And that's what we should be able to
And
do.
all religions, what you just said, all religions, they allude to the same values, which are basically what you call morality. They all allude to that. Good society has certain values. So bottom line, what I hear is that we must raise women or follow women of character.
Yes.
Women of character, because that encompasses everything. And therefore, if I'm choosing a mentor, I'm not looking at the outer veneer. I'm looking at what values, what does she espouse, what does she model, what kind of life is. Would I do what, even though I love what she's wearing, would I live her life if I knew the details?
That is true.
Yeah.
And I also feel, I know somebody out there might be thinking, so we shouldn't follow mentors or people who dress good and have flashy cars. We're not saying that. A good mentor can have all of that. They can have a glamorous life, but what work do they put into getting that type of life? And I feel that's the basis of what you should base your mentorship on, even as you are searching.
Yeah.
And another thing that I want to bring out was something that Shiva talked about in the interview. She said, during those times,
I like Sheba talked a lot about education.
Yes.
I don't know if you picked up a lot of
Yes,
that.
she did.
She talked about education, and both of them, one thing I like about both of them, I'm sorry I caught you, but what both of them talked to, I didn't want you to miss it. What both of them talked about that their lives spoke was their being authentic. They knew what they wanted to do, and they went for it. And Sheba talked that even if her parents were alive, maybe they wouldn't have allowed her because society would have thought a girl should be like this.
Yes.
So back to you.
And also Shiva, talking about education, she didn't go to college right away.
Yeah.
She started working, I think, for an NGO in communities and stuff. And
Because she couldn't afford it
she
at
couldn't
that time.
afford to go to college. So it was through her work that she got scholarships, and she used to look up and look at people and say, oh, she used to earn a low salary. And then she realized that if you have an education, you can earn more.
Yeah.
So that's what inspired
Yeah.
her to go to
Yeah.
to go to
That
school
was beautiful.
and study more.
And we're gonna take it a bit further and talk about what Shalakateka actually spoke about. I just love her.
So you've moved gears
Sorry.
already.
I'm
By producer.
I'm shifting it. I'm shifting it a little because you're talking about education. Shalakateka actually spoke about education as
Big
well,
time.
and she said education is important for each and every woman. Even as we want to step out and be all these big things that we want, you have to have a level of education.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's important. It takes me back to Dr. Ponga.
Okay.
Her mother instilled in her education that even if you don't get married, you have your education.
I really wish we could have profiled Dr. Ponga's mom.
Yeah.
She had some powerful things.
Teachings and
Yeah.
principles. So a woman, you need a certain level of education. That is something you can always fall back on.
Yeah.
If your marriage is going haywire, there are cases where women hang on to a marriage. They say, where will I go? What will I do?
Yeah.
I don't have any education.
A lot of women down the road said, men will fail you, your education will never fail you.
Exactly.
That was powerful.
So
That hit me hard.
that is really key. And it's never too late to go back
Now
to
you're
school.
talking to me about Mrs. Mazaba.
He is very
Yes,
passionate
but-
about Mrs.
No,
Mazza.
I just love Mrs. Mazaba. She was just
But what is
phenomenal.
interesting is our different women leaders, when you listen to them, it's coming back to the same thing. Mrs. Mazaba talked about education. Kateka also
Chishala Kateka is a product of good education and hard work.
and hard work.
She's well educated and she's worked hard. You see her talking about how many boards she has served on based on her work, her work. And she said, look, women should be able to walk tall. You must know what works for you. I think she was going into the area of family and all that and said, look, this does not disqualify you know what works, what doesn't work,
Yeah.
Exactly.
and maintain your lane. Get out there and be the best. Be focused.
Stand up.
Yes.
Don't say, "Oh, I'm a Christian," and you're waiting for Jesus to
Yeah.
perform a miracle for you. You need to get up. You need to.
That was
act,
very
you need
good.
to take action.
Yeah.
That was, because most women, not most, that's a generalization. A lot of women, a lot of us African women fall into that.
Yeah.
Where we say God will do it. I'm,
want to
I'm
pray
married
it
to
out.
Jesus.
Pray fast
Yes.
for 21 days and expect a miracle at the end of the 21 days. But you need to take action. You need to take a step.
Yeah.
And that is what Kateka kept talking
Yeah.
about and emphasize on that.
She
That's
said, "You cannot vote me. Don't vote me because I'm a woman." I love that because you see, yes, I believe in affirmative action, but there must be capacity to back it. Otherwise, you shut the door to other women. You saw that in South Africa. BEE, they opened up to blacks to come in, and people were using that to do all sorts of things.
Get tenders, get jobs.
It is more building the capacity, and she says, vote for me because of what I can do, not just because I'm a woman.
Exactly.
You insult me if you just vote for me because I'm a woman. Like you are doing me a
Vote for me
favor
based on merit.
based on merit. I think that was loud and
That
that
was
was
so
huge.
very powerful.
That was
And
powerful.
We'll just ask Andrew to project that even
Okay.
as we
You
speak
have it.
about it. Yes, we do.
By producer.
This 50-50 issue, yeah, it's a number. But we can work towards it.
Okay.
I believe in a situation where people rise into something, don't appoint me because I'm a female.
woman, yes.
Don't do that, because when you appoint me simply because I'm a woman, you are demeaning me.
That's true.
You are saying you've got no brains, but it's fine. Come.
Just because you're
Just
a woman.
because I'm a woman. I think that we need to prepare the woman just as we prepare the men. Look, in our homes, we start treating the boys differently for leadership, and then the women differently for washing dishes. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
So we now need to realize that, you know what, we do make a mistake when we do that. We need to allow both the boys and the girls to get involved with.
And that was Shala Kateka, and she spoke very boldly, because it takes a courageous woman to actually say, don't just vote for me because I'm a woman. And I will have to confess this. I remember when I was back in school, I used to tell my friend, we're going to vote for a woman just because she's a woman. We don't care what it is that she has done, but she's there and she's changed my narrative.
But I like that. That's a good start. That's a good start. First, vote for the woman.
Yeah.
But ask yourself, what is this woman going to do when she gets there? Because the woman may do against what is good
For us.
for women.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you must ask those questions. Our voters must be very educated. There has to be voter education.
Yes.
And you're not voting. We have a system now where we vote for money. And we lose out 40, 50 years later because
I know
one
Mrs. Maloney
decision.
speaks very strongly
Yeah.
about
We vote for money and then we pay the price for the next generation is paying the price for the mistakes, because everything you do today, that generation not born is going to bear the consequences of it, whether good or bad. It's called the law of accumulation. Everything you do is either taking you farther or taking you closer to your goal.
Yes.
So that if we want a better Zambia, we can't continue.
We can't continue the way we are going. And what Kateka is saying, vote for me because I am capable of doing the job. She has the qualifications, she's got the work experience, she's got the life experience, she's got the skills.
Yeah.
And she's saying, if you vote for me because I'm a woman, I will feel very insulted.
Yeah.
And as we go to the polls this year to vote, let's look at our leaders. Do they have the capability to lead this country in the right direction?
Okay, I know you love politics. Can you bring it back to the women? Please bring it
And
back.
you know, and another thing
Don't let her go, please, producer. She talks politics.
she said, know your purpose, know who you are.
Absolutely.
You need to know who you are.
Absolutely.
You know, if you don't know who you are, start doing an inspection of yourself. Ask yourself that question every day. Do I know who I am? Do I know why I wake up every morning? Do I know where I'm going to? It is really.
And she said that her being in politics is a calling. She felt it was a calling. Having joined the Heritage Party earlier, she didn't think. She went back into corporate work and all, and she's come 360 degrees and realized this is a calling. So she's not doing it because she wants to, she's doing it because she believes this is. And that's beautiful to see women. A lot of people will think a calling is just going to preach.
Or to become a nun.
To become, but she's saying there's a calling to lead. And I am putting myself out to obey and to serve. That's a servant leader. That's a servant leader.
Yeah, exactly. And what I do get from that is the sense of purpose. And I feel it's very important for each and every woman to know, because then you'll be shooting every arrow everywhere. You don't know where you're going. You don't know for what purpose or reason that you were created. So then you just do anything. I remember there's a saying that if you're a driver under instruction...
Kasongo. If you want sayings, ask Mrs. Malunde. She'll give you sayings big time. And somebody's hammering me now saying, why are you telling her that?
There's a saying that if you're a driver under instruction, you just don't go anywhere. You've seen the speedometer on people who drive huge trucks. They can't go beyond a certain limit, despite what happens. So you have to be a driver under instruction. Despite where you go, you know your purpose, and that's what happens. And she did actually allude to that, Mrs. Kishala Kateka. She said women should know their purpose. They should know who they are. When you find that, you find your niche, and then
that speaks volumes in her life. She's so focused. She's so focused. She's so targeted. She's really a brilliant woman. Absolutely brilliant woman. Do you have anything else from?
Yes, we do. And
please.
We're actually going to project the advice that she gave to the woman. So, Andrew, please project that for us.
Find out who you are. Find out what you need to do. Find out who you need to be. And then focus on that.
Okay.
Don't allow... in fact, there will be barriers and boundaries. But find a way out.
So be authentic, be resourceful.
Yes.
Find a way
around that challenge that you are facing, because you will only feel fulfilled when you start doing what you are supposed to do.
So find who you are. Barriers.
Yes, because when you don't do that, you become something less than you are. And then you start to do things that you shouldn't be doing.
Fortune favors the brave.
Yeah.
Go out there.
Yeah, I love how she spoke. She said, find who you are. Find who you are. And she keeps emphasizing
Find your purpose. She's found her purpose. When you meet a person that lives on purpose, they will talk to you like that. Find your purpose. She's very focused. Yes,
and
ma'am.
even if you are having challenges, you have challenges around you, maybe you don't have the resources for you to pursue your purpose, you must always find a way and get back on track and follow your purpose.
Kasongo, do we have our lines open? Can people
Yes,
contribute?
we do. So you can actually give us a phone call, you can write us a message, and the numbers are on your screen right now. You can give us a message, you can write us a shout out, even on Facebook. We're live on Facebook, so you can write us a message on Facebook and we'll be able to read those comments as well, so we can keep the interaction going.
And please, if you're online, we do apologize for the blurriness of the picture. They're working on it. We do apologize for that.
Yes. And on that particular note, we'll talk about another thing that Kateka actually spoke about. And she said people should be able to pay the price. We don't just pray. And this is something that has caught Africa at the neck. We want to pray for everything and think God is going to come, or he has a ladder from heaven and is going to work it out. And I know I wasn't expecting this when we were providing.
You're not in the spirit.
She's very spiritual, and she's very very spiritual.
Separate spirituality from religion.
Yes,
She was not religious. She's very spiritual.
Very spiritual.
And
That is beautiful.
Yeah,
and
she used
the way she
example-
quoted the Bible,
Bible.
and I was like,
And she used the example in the Bible.
She's many
Moses.
examples, many
Yes,
times.
of Moses, of even Joseph. I always say, my colleagues say, I'm fasting for 7 days, I'm fasting for 14 days. There's nothing wrong with fasting.
yeah,
But don't expect Jesus Christ to come down at the end of 21 days and pay your bills.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, and what she was saying, you need to take action. You need to act. You need to put things into motion. Yes,
I need to get Mrs. Malundu on camera. You need to act. You're so British. You need to act. You need to shiny.
That's
Yeah.
the Roma girl coming out.
Hallelujah.
Yes, I strongly believe that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes a long time for people to discover what their purpose is in life. But when
Sometimes it takes a lifetime.
it takes a lifetime. But once you discover what it
Go
is,
for it.
go for it.
So every woman has a purpose.
Everyone.
And she's
has
saying
a purpose.
every woman has a purpose. I like that also. When you come to talk about, I like that when we came to Sarita, but we'll come there. And she says, look, we can't compare two people because amplifying that, every woman has a different. So you can't compare yourself that you are not doing as good because you have different purposes.
Yes, and your timelines are different.
Absolutely. You have some messages? Not yet?
not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Not
I think we just put the numbers, so
Yeah. So please do send in your messages. You can even give us a phone call. We want to get your views. If you were watching, if you're enjoying the show, let us know.
let me ask you both. As women, you're hearing this. I know we are reviewing the lessons, so we're bringing out the lessons. But what impact does it have on you as women? And it's beautiful because we have a generational variety here. So, as a young person, what does it do for you when you watch that and you listen to? You were privileged not just to watch, but to be there and to have met each of them. What does that do for you when you hear be focused, have a purpose? Education is important. Be careful for mentors. And I can't wait. They didn't say that, but I can't wait for Mrs. Mazava. So, what comes to you as a young person? You're in your very early 20s. I just advertised for you. What comes to your mind?
I think first and foremost, I feel very privileged to be part and see these women who've paved the way. It gives me courage.
In fact, what happens in you? Not just what happens in you? What is the chemistry going on inside of you at that time?
Yeah, first and foremost, I feel awoke. Like, I feel so encouraged that if women can actually do it. I'm not just hearing stories, like reading about people in the past, like
White
history,
women.
White women. I'm seeing women who've actually gone through it. They've done it, and they are succeeding at it. It gives me so much hope for myself personally that I can do it. If they were able to do it, and times were even harder than it is now, I can do it even better than them. And being able to be given all these nuggets and keys to go about my life, I feel like a roadmap has been given, and even if I fail, I had something to be.
So have you started applying focus? Have you started seeking your purpose? Have you started telling yourself, Kasongo, wait, don't just fall for anything. Don't get confused. Has it started applying to your life?
Yes, it has. Most of the time, I think I want to make a decision, and maybe it might not be the very right decision. I remember some of their words echo in my mind. Be patient, your time will come. God has a purpose for everybody. Find the right mentors, and I try to surround myself with people like you. Obviously.
This woman, she loves television. She likes this camera thing. I'll catch you in the morning. I'll catch you in the morning.
And I'm surrounded by very great mentors. I mean, how can I be around Mrs. Malundu,
Yo.
Pastor Jolome, and everybody around?
This one is a politician.
How can I not turn up? I mean, look at me. I'm here today and I'm producing such a great show. I think it's evident, Pastor J.
I'll vote for you.
Okay.
You have my vote.
I do get
So
that.
it's working.
It's working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mrs. Malundu, tell me.
For me, this program has been so enlightening and so mind-opening and mind-blogging, because different women talk about their different experiences. I've always wanted to go into politics. I've been talking about it for years, but I never acted.
No, you are. You're doing.
It's never too late, Mrs. Mazar.
Yes, I knew my purpose, but I never acted upon it. And when I met Kateka, when I heard her speak, in fact, I've been following her for a while since she declared she wanted to be president last year in 2020, late last year. I would follow her and stuff. And then when I met her in person, she is such a powerful force.
Yeah.
She's not that tall.
I'm not going to cut you off. We had a phone call.
Okay.
We just lost it.
She's a bit petite on the smaller side, but she speaks.
She's not small.
Well, I'm taller than her.
Are you serious?
Yes.
She looked taller than you.
She was wearing heels when.
Okay.
Oh God.
So
Okay, so we do have a phone call. Sorry, Mrs. Malundu. We're going to take this particular phone call. Hello, caller. Hello, good evening. You are through to leading lessons learned from leading ladies. What is your name and where are you watching us from? Hello. We lost that phone call. And it was a man. Pastor would have been very happy.
Of course.
Apart from that man who was complaining about his wife.
So they inspired you to step out into your
They
political
inspired me
space.
to step out into my political space. And I must say, I went to see him.
You're a fan.
And I am so inspired. I am so fired up. And I've known my purpose, but my purpose has become so clear. I am so focused on my purpose.
Brilliant.
So, yeah.
Brilliant.
And talking about you wanting to go into politics now and stepping into that arena, I want to talk about Mrs. Mazava, Pastor's favorite. He's very biased. This we should put it out there.
I love
He is
Mrs.
very biased towards Mrs.
I can tell you all the people I love. Mrs. Gladys Mutukwa. Oh God, she's just super. Mrs. Mazava, absolutely divine.
Oh God.
Oh God. Then should I go on?
No,
I can go on to the other side.
Until we
Then
get
when
there.
you see Dr. Ponga,
She
super.
is such an inspiration.
Absolutely.
We've had so many women who
That
are so
woman has,
inspiring.
yes.
And before we do get into Mrs. Mazava, we do have a phone call.
By the way, I love all of them, but just,
Got favorites.
yeah,
Hello?
kind of.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. You're watching Lessons Learned from Leading Ladies. Where are you watching us from and what is your name? We've lost that phone.
So that's another man. Men are representing.
We do have a couple of messages that I want to get through to right now. And this one says, good evening, my name is Prince. I'm watching you from Chingola. Thank you very much, Prince, for this particular message. Would have loved to get your contribution, so please do text back. Thank you very much for that message. We have another one here, and this one says, good evening, Pastor. Good evening, Kasongo and Mrs. Malundu. I'm loving the show. Please do speak about purpose a little bit more.
Okay.
Yes.
So, this is Maludo speak about purpose.
Maybe you could define
found-
what is.
Purpose is knowing what something is created for. For example, my phone is not created to slap me. My phone is created to do. So that the purpose is discovering the intention, the mind of the person that made that thing. So purpose can be discovered from God, if you believe in God and all that, or purpose can be inspired. That means you discover what makes you discover a reason for why you do what you do. You discover something that will give you a greater satisfaction, greatest fulfillment, greatest reward. So when you find what gives you a greatest satisfaction, your greatest reward, your great motivation, that's where your purpose is. Your purpose is often tied to what you love and what you hate. One or two draws you into your purpose. Most of the time, your purpose has nothing to do with how much money you are going to make. Your purpose oftentimes has to do with what difference you are going to make in other people's lives. So success is about you. Purpose brings you into significance. I mean, significance is not I'm a rich person. You can be a rich person not affecting anybody's life. You are not significant. You just have cash. And cash doesn't mean you are rich, because when you go into wealth, you have 6 levels. So having money, in fact, seeing a person spending money doesn't mean they are rich, because the person may have money but not have freedom, financial freedom. They are not rich.
Yeah.
A rich person is somebody that has peace of mind because they know why they exist. They don't have contention, fight, everything. That's a different level. Number 3, they have health. Number 4, you have financial freedom, not money. Financial freedom. Number 5, you are working in an area that is bringing fulfillment. You enjoy what you're doing. Number 6, you're living for self-actualization, meaning that your life is making a difference. You're solving a problem. You see, in those days, they will tell you to go to school to read to get a job. When you are doing purpose, you're asking yourself, what problem am I solving in the world? So purpose is often tied to your life. Whose problems are you solving? Why are you here? What contributions are you making to the world? Then you are looking at purpose. I hope this helps the person. But ambition is about what you want to get.
For yourself.
You know? Yeah. So if you go back to Garden of Eden, you saw Eve pursued ambition, self. That's where ego comes in. Ego means self. Purpose is why they were made. They are here not by mistake. They came to achieve a purpose. So when Eve met Adam, she wasn't meeting a husband, she was meeting her purpose. So you find your significance when you meet the problem you are created to solve. So I'm created to solve mentality, knowledge problem. My whole life is about changing people's mentality and bringing about transformation, total life transformation. So a person that is looking for healing, as in throw your shirt and fall down, they won't come near me, because I'm called to leaders and leadership. Therefore, if you're going to be someone great tomorrow, I will attract you. But if you're looking for how to pray for someone to get a bag, no, you will repel me. Let's put it that way.
And you can see from how Pastor is speaking that he's speaking in his purpose. So I'm going to cut you because
it's your turn to revenge. You see, she's
he's
revenging.
speaking in his purpose. So I'm going to cut you because of time, and we're going to go into Mrs. Mazala. She did speak about talking about purpose. When you have your purpose, you won't do the wrong things. And Mrs. Mazala emphasized that. She said, make sure you do the right thing.
Do
not do the wrong thing.
Refuse to do the wrong
Isn't
thing.
Mrs. Mazaba just awesome?
Refuse to do the wrong. Even if you're a woman, because there used to be cases where women would go to and report about what was happening in their lives, and she'll say to them, what did you say? Don't come back to me and say that.
Yeah.
If something is wrong, it's wrong.
Stand up for your rights.
the wrong
Refuse to do the
thing.
wrong thing.
And she also gave examples of how women will want to get into those higher positions, but sometimes you'll be faced with challenges that will make you to do the wrong thing. Like, for example, the notion is real that women will have to sleep with somebody to get to the top, but don't do the wrong thing. Do the right thing. And as we talk about that, we'll ask Andrew to project the video, please.
Say no, I won't. There's a girl, I think 2 or 3 who came to tell me, Mom, you know, so some senior person was saying I should meet them at some place at night. I said, what did you say? No. I said, you don't even need to come to me. Just say no. And say that the next time you ask me, I'm going to report you. Just refuse. I'm going to achieve. I'm not going to be given on a silver plate. I'm going to achieve. I'm not going to do the wrong thing in order to go there. Because how many times am I going to do it? Stage 1, another thing. For how long? Look at me, 75, 76. How many times you have done it? No. Just work hard. And if you don't get it then, Just sit there where you are and work hard. Refuse to be used to do the wrong thing.
You see, that's where you go, mama. Yo. That's powerful.
Because that takes you back to values and principles.
Yeah.
You know.
And you know, she got her values from her parents.
Oh yes. Her
Superwoman.
parents were teachers, and in their neighborhood, she always wondered whether there were other girl children. You know. And in their household, the boys and the girls had to do chores the same. They had to go to the field and work. So it's those values, the values that are instilled.
That make you stand against such things.
Exactly. What is wrong, and what is right is right.
Yeah.
It's either white or black. It cannot be grey in between. And if something is wrong, as women and as young women, you need to learn to say no when something is wrong.
Yeah.
And even report them.
Yeah.
Because if you keep quiet, you will be abused time and time again, and it won't end there. It will get worse, and that is what she was trying to say.
And I was going to ask that question. I thank you for saying that, because it brings me back. Before I went to see what Mrs. Mazaba was going to say, was Kasongo said, "Oh, people talk about women, you sleep your way to the top." And my question is, do you really go to the top because through that? I don't think so. I think that, the transaction may have happened. It was a transaction. But if you slept your way up, it takes brains to stay up.
Oh, yes.
So, like she said, how long will you keep
I'll
sleeping?
keep doing that for. And they'll just use you and spit you out like a hot potato. You need to stand your ground and be principled. And from my life experience, the men will actually admire you and say, that one is
Most of the time, that's what happens. They come to respect and admire you, that you are different, and they start opening doors for you.
Exactly.
And because they respect you now.
Yeah.
But once you go the other way, it just messes up everything.
And I remember Shalakatek actually spoke about that. She said,
Yes, she did.
She said, men respect you when they realize that you're unable to fall for their trap.
You know what? Not just Chishala or Mrs. Mazaba. Every woman said the same. That men come to respect you when you stand up and hold your own, and you don't. Men actually treat you with respect and treat you as an equal.
As an equal.
So every woman said that, not just, I know we're reviewing 3-3, but every woman said that. Every achieving woman you talk to said that.
Yeah, and we have a couple of messages from Facebook here. We have Caleb Mwense, and he says, listening, good evening. And we also have Christopher Shameka, and he says, I'm watching you from Lusaka. Thank you very much for all the messages that are coming through on our Facebook page, which is at God Ministries Global. And we also have people who are commenting on YouTube, so we're glad that you're watching. I've seen a couple of good evening from Loveness, Florence, and I think that's about it. So thank you very much for those messages. Another thing that Mrs. Mazava talked about was do not give up. I love that. And this is something that Pastor keeps reminding all of us. She said if Mrs. Mazava didn't give up, she had to get her degree at 72. 72. And you're just
Masters. And the best in the class.
If she can do it, I can do it.
It's never too late to pursue your dream. And don't compare yourself with others. That's what she was saying. Because your timeline is different. Your clock is different. There are women who've stayed at home, have had their 6 children, and when their kids are old enough to school, then they get up and go back to school.
Yes.
But you must always have an education and something to fall back on.
That is very true.
It's never too late.
Yeah.
And she's going for a PhD.
And she's going for a PhD.
At 76.
And 76. And she says she'll get a PhD before she's 80.
She just breaks the barriers.
And she's still the registrar of the topmost
medical school.
She said that. I'm using her voice.
Yes.
She says Zambia's best medical university. So I'm quoting her there. And she's still relevant. Can you imagine a woman going to study entrepreneurship and what is it, poverty alleviation.
Alleviation.
She doesn't need anything.
She doesn't need anything.
But she's studying it because she says, I want to teach people.
Yes.
I want to help people. I think that was brilliant.
Because she was saying Africa, we have a tendency of depending on donors. But if you teach people entrepreneurship, they'll be self-reliant. And she does it for free.
Yeah.
She does it for free.
Yeah.
So we have 7 minutes,
Yes.
or about 5 minutes. So how are we wrapping it up, Kasongo?
We are going to play that clip, and when we come back, we'll be just giving our last bits,
Okay.
and we'll be closing up the social. Please, Andrew, please play Mrs. Mazava. Never give up and keep trying, working hard.
I just want everybody who is listening to appreciate the hand of God.
Fantastic.
That He has plans for all of us. Relax, please,
That's
in the
right.
hands of God. Things may seem to be whatever, but He's there. When He was Making that connection, He already knew that years later, there will be this university. I would like this Tango Mazava to be the registrar. So He made the connections. So as I worked at Lusaka Apex Medical University, I got inspired to do further studies. So I enrolled at age 70 for Masters, Executive MBA, and at age 72, I graduated as the best student.
Wow.
Actually, my profile was even on BBC. Yeah, and even international. I was reading in some other languages that Chekuru, whatever. I found it very interesting.
So that is Mrs. Mazaba. At 72, she was getting the best student. It tells you it's a lie to tell you that the older you get, the less your brain
works.
At 72, the best student.
There's also something else that she said that I just have to say. She said, before you know it, we are going to have a female president.
So you like that one?
I like that.
I like that one too.
So she's just encouraging us that
Never
you
give up.
Never give up. You can study no matter your age. You can always go back to school and achieve.
Mrs. Musukwa said it's unfinished
It's
business
unfinished business.
until we get there. Mrs. Mulenga said come out of the closet. Women, it is time to come
out of the
closet. Let's make it happen. Let's go out there and do it.
Yeah.
How are we wrapping it up? Tell me.
Okay, so I'm just going to ask everybody to give the highlight for today. Just one quote. Was that with you, Pastor? What was your highlight from everybody?
The only thing I want to say is thank you to those wonderful women. I think that's my highlight. That they took the journey, and in spite of their challenges, you see, the earlier women we saw were older. Maybe that's why I'm more in love with them. Because the challenges they faced at those times, and they've gone on to pave the way and create space for the younger ones to come. So you may look at Mrs. Malundu as older, but they paved the way for her. That's just phenomenal. And to think that they are still doing it even now. Take Mrs. Mutukwa, she was on the platform yesterday talking about advancing, and they are saying, we're going to go back. How can we help? We are still relevant. We still want to see it. I think for me, that is what I say to women. Thank you, all the women. We've talked about Dr. Auxilia Ponga, Mrs. Gladys Mutukwa, Mrs. Mary Mulenga. We've talked today about Chisela Kateka. We've talked about Sheba and Kalua. And now we're talking about Mrs. Mazaba. What I say is, thank you, women. Thank you. Keep flying the flag. Thank you.
And for you, Mrs. Malungu?
Pastor has said it all. But my message to the youth is that pay attention to older people. There is always something to learn. Don't brush us aside and say, oh, these are from the old age, they're ancient, what can they tell me? They have something to tell you, and there is always something to learn.
They have a lot to tell you.
Yes.
In fact, you know what I think? I'm sorry, I'm taking a few extra seconds. I think the older people have so much more to tell. They don't want to tell you what to do, who to be, but they're in the best. You can't imagine taking 76 years to gather wisdom, and you say that person is old. Then that person lacks insight. Back to you.
Okay, my highlight for today is just that women have the capability, and despite what age, there's something that a woman is always bringing out, and I've just come to appreciate that. So even as we wrap up today, go back and think about that grandmother you lived in the village. She has some wisdom that she can teach you. Go back and think about that aunt that you so despise because maybe she talks too much. She has some wisdom to give, and don't disregard even
You are confessing your sins. You are confessing your sins now. So you used to think they talk too much. You see?
I'm speaking on behalf of everybody. Everybody has that one aunt.
Okay.
Everybody does.
Okay.
If we look at back, Pastor, you have that one.
I don't have.
Yeah, so go back and listen to them. They have something to give. They have something that you can learn from. So
Spend time with them.
time
Yeah,
with
spend time with them.
listen and just be ready to learn,
Yeah.
because it's important and you'll be taking away something. So as we wrap it up today, we want to remind you that tomorrow we have 3 very beautiful, very wise women that we're going to be talking about and taking some highlights from them, and we are going to predict them on the screen so that you can get yourself ready to know who these people are. You can keep the comments coming. You can send us messages even in advance so that we can get to read them tomorrow when we come on the show. So please, Andrew, predict those beautiful women for us as we prepare everybody for tomorrow. Network. We have Lowani Chibesakunda, who is the CEO of Citibank Zambia, and we have Connie Osborne, Director General of National AIDS Council. So watch out for tomorrow. It's going to be really exciting.
Awesome.
Those are fabulous. You see, every woman is just super. Absolutely. Those are 3 amazing women.
Yes.
I'm worried about this woman. Are you sure she's 20 something? She talks like
Like
60.
an old
Like an old
60.
woman.
The mentorship is too much.
I'm telling
You
you.
need to mentor other girls.
I'm telling you.
She's
So
bombarded by
Yes,
mentors
so-
from left, right, and center.
So tomorrow we will be looking at those 3 very lovely women, and we'll be speaking to the different things that they brought out, what we learned. And we'll be opening it up to everybody so that you can send us messages, you can interact with us, and we can just keep the conversation going as we learn together. So from all of us here, we're saying good night and God bless you. Thank you very much for watching.